Herzlich willkommen! A new update today on this Saturday in which we'll be discussing the top altcoins of September, but then we are actually updating them because usually I'm doing those top altcoin videos and I'm never updating them. So I guess this is the way that we want to proceed, and therefore after 2 weeks I'm going to update them throughout the month so we can actually see how they are progressing here and how they are developing. So we're going to discuss those today, but before that, do not forget to subscribe beneath, like the YouTube update, and check me out on Twitter and Instagram. And also tomorrow I'll be on Dutch television at 10 a.m. RTL 7, whatever, just before business class, and I'll be discussing crypto with some other guests in a new show which is called Bulls and Bears. So that's going to be fun. So yeah, don't forget to tune in, and yeah, I'll probably be posting my part at some point, but yeah, that will be cool. So let's get towards the charts, and I've got the 5 coins here, and I'll be doing them in the exact same list as I've been doing them earlier. First one was Atom. We have been discussing it at the beginning of the month when it was 24 bucks. We've also been stating that you always have to wait for a clear entry point to go for. Whether you're using support resistance levels, whether you're using order blocks, that's completely fine, as in this entire block was an entry zone for you to go for. And if you're looking at support resistance levels, this level is still the level that you should be watching, as it's shown activity here as well. And after that we have been breaking out heavily. So should you be buying Atom at this stage? Well, I've been posting an update on Thursday, which was about reading charts through Bitcoin pairs and ETH pairs. And you can see that Atom had some significant movements already. So based on the daily time frame, it's going to be quite difficult to get the actual entry at this stage, as we have been running. But the USDT pair is quite complex to look at, so you have to be focused on the Bitcoin pair, and that's giving you way more information at this stage. Slight breakout of the accumulation structure, slow continuation here as well. And the levels that you should be looking at for a potential entry is the level at 5100 sats, and the second entry point, which is around the area that we've got here, around 6500 sats. That is the area that you should be looking at if you want to get an entry point on Atom based on the daily time frame. Why am I saying based on the daily time frame? Because the daily time frame is there for swing trades. If you're starting to zoom in, it gives you way more information on where you should actually be getting the entry at this stage. The green zone stays there as a very important support zone to watch, but given the lower time frames, another level appears here, which is the range between 6830 and 7000 sats. That might be a beautiful support resistance flip before we're going to get a new impulse wave. But when you're getting the entry on a lower time frame, you should be lowering your your trade size because of the risks that are involved. The lower the time frame, the higher the risk, the lower your size on your trade. When we're looking at the daily time frame, some more consolidation here. When we are going to expand that with the Fibonacci extension tool and we take the previous impulse wave, we could be targeting 12k sats and 17k sats. 17k sats will probably be alongside with Atom at 100 bucks. At this stage it's around 35, with Bitcoin at 47 to 48. If Bitcoin is going to break out upwards with about like 10 to 20%, this one is also going to run to like 40 to 45, and when you do the calculation, then you will be seeing that you get close towards 100 bucks. Second one we have discussed is Mina. I've been discussing this one at the beginning of the month, in which we have been clearly stating that a retest here would be a great entry point. As you can see, we've been wicking even further, but we have stated that this support resistance flip is a beautiful entry, which is around $3.40, which is great. I also mentioned levels that we should be holding overall, which is the case for the level that we have here. This recent higher low is the actual fact that we should be holding. So in this case, we also got a beautiful support resistance flip, but the actual area that you preferably want to see sustain as support is this entire region for Mina. Great strength, Beautiful, the support resistance flip, almost 2x since we have mentioned it earlier this month. And now we are looking for some consolidation before we're going to have some continuation here too. We've actually been using the Fibonacci extension to derive some take profit points, but given the recent impulse wave, we can actually start doing it on the recent price action too, in which we take the recent low, recent high, next targets for Mina if we're going to have the continuation on the bull cycle, $8.60 and $12 at this stage. Looking at Link, that is the third coin that we have been discussing. Unfortunately, not many movements since the beginning of the month. We are still consolidating, but as you know, on Twitter and YouTube, I've been clearly stating that Link, and especially the entire Oracle section, still has to have some momentum at this point. So I think it's still a very interesting cryptocurrency to look at, or an investment to look at for a potential swing trade. The fourth one is one that has been running way heavier than we anticipated. We have been discussing Harmony at this stage, in which we stated, okay, we might be getting a retest at the lows. We might be getting a retest of the level that we have here. Not entirely, but we do have got into that range. So the previous low, higher low was sustaining, and we've got a beautiful slight retest. Probably I won't be filled completely, but we have stated, okay, once it breaks through 270 sats, we are assuming that we're testing these highs here, which we have been doing, and since then a heavy corrective move through which the interest for me personally in Harmony is slightly gone until we hit around 300 sats or maybe even around 270 sats. That would probably grant another great entry, and then the price action will be the same as the previous one. So I think I'll be sitting on the sidelines, but another 2x that has been doing great in the previous month and that we have been mentioning earlier. The final one, Tesos, has been doing great. We've also mentioned these two levels at this stage in which you could be taking the entry. Since then, a beautiful run towards a new high. So we can be assuming that a new trend has started, in which we can be looking at a potential support resistance flip as a potential target zone to take the entry from, which is around 12k sats. So most of them has been doing great. Chainlink has not been doing great, but almost everything has been going up by 50 to 100%. Does it say that all season is over? No, you can still get beautiful entry points, for instance on Tesos, for instance on Harmony, if you are patient enough to wait for the best entry possible. And if you do that, you'll probably become profitable in trading as well. I hope you have enjoyed this small update on the markets. I'll be back tomorrow with a fresh new one, probably a little longer update, but I hope you enjoy this content and don't forget to subscribe beneath. See you again soon.